Hello and welcome to I Love Sewing with Anna. Today I'm going to show you how to make a washable sanitary pad. This is one I made earlier. It's made out of cotton fabric. You can use scraps of fabric. It's not a very big piece. Nice to choose pretty colours. As you see underneath, I've used an old cotton fabric and I've dyed it. Done a bit of dyeing, tend to choose purple and red. So, this pad is made out of 6 pieces. You have the underside and the top side, and then next to the underside you have a waterproof layer. For this I'm using an old tent, which I'm cutting up into these pieces, and underneath the top side you've got 3 layers of wadding. For this I'm using an old woolen blanket, which I'm cutting up into these pieces. There's 3 layers, a big size, a middle size and a small size, and they all go on one on top of the other. If you're watching this film, you should have had access to my pattern pieces, which you can download and print off and then cut out so you can make your own pieces ready and assemble them ready for making your pad. Okay, so now I'm going to show you how to start putting it together. What you do is you take the underneath and turn it over so the wrong side is up, and then you take the waterproof layer and put it in the middle, and then place a pin here, here and here, and then you take the top side, turn it over again so you've got the wrong side up, and you place just the bottom layer of your woolen fabric or your fleece or your absorbent fabric down, and place a pin at the top and in the middle and at the bottom, and then you're ready to start putting the pad together. So now we have your 2 pieces ready for sewing. As you can see, I told you how to put the pins in, one at the top, one in the middle and one at the bottom, and the same with just one wadding piece on the top layer, 1 pin, 2 pins, 3 pins. So now I'm going to sew them in place. What I usually start by doing, I start sewing it on the right hand side, and I sew it all the way round. Take the pins out as you go. You really should find that 3 pins is enough. If you don't feel confident, then you can always put more pins in. So that's the bottom half, and this is the top of the pad. And what I usually do is, you'll see in a minute why, but I start sewing on the right hand side about halfway down. I'm sewing with a darker thread so that you can see where the stitching line goes. You need to take all the pins out at this stage, because what you're going to do is take the next wadding piece, pop it in place, and then you can just continue sewing on that piece, and you don't need any pins at all for this layer. least I don't find I need them. I think it's partly because the wool sort of sticks to itself. And same again with the top layer, just pop it on. Might need to get the foot out of the way if you've gone a bit too far. You're sort of sewing in a continual spiral, really. It just means you don't have to stop and start. Finish off, cut off the threads. And so the next stage is what you're going to do is you're going to place your pieces right side to right side. And I find it's best when you're pinning it to put the top layer with the woolen wadding on the top, because I find these woolen pieces tend to slightly adjust the size of this top layer and make it a weeny bit smaller. So you want to see, like there, you need to make sure that you're catching all the edges in. Only need 4 pins, 1 on each corner. Now where I start sewing is about here, because what you're going to do is leave a gap so that you can turn it inside out. You'll see. So you sew all the way round, about ½ a centimetre from the edge. All the way round. And then stop sewing, so you leave a gap about here, forwards and backwards, cut it off, and then you're ready to turn the pad inside out and press it. So here we have the pad with the waterproof layer sewn on underneath and the wadding on top, all sewn together, ready at the ironing board for turning inside out and for pressing. So first of all, I just clip off any edges that are slightly wide. You're not in a competition here, and let's face it, this is just a sanitary pad. It's important to make it comfortable, but I wouldn't get too finicky about finish. So what I do then is I put my thumb in, grab the bit on the wadding side. This is a bit fiddly to turn inside out, but once you get the knack of it, you can really get going. I've made 27 of these in a day. I sat down and did a fundraising effort for the girls in Malawi who are now hand sewing their own washable sanitary pads, and they're waiting after this virus has finished to get their manual sewing machine so they can make their own. Now, the next stage is take a knitting needle or some such and just poke it on the inside so that you can fill out the edges, and take your iron and press the edges, pop it in the gap, push it out and press it. slightly fiddly bit here. Now you have to turn these edges of the gap in. But as I say, you're not trying to win a competition here, just trying to make it comfortable. The point, I think, of making pretty dark colours is just so that it survives washing quite a few times without looking stained and unpleasant. So there you are, you've got your shape coming here. And what you want to do is sew up the gap. Just do a quick sewing on the outside, just along there, right at the edge, just to hold the gap together. And now you're on to another final stage of fastening it at the back. So what you can do is, you've got three alternatives. You can take a little square of Velcro, like that, and sew it in place. Hold it down, one side down, and one side up, like that, and that'll, I'm not going to stick it together or it won't come undone again. A couple of whiskers there to trim off. Or you could take a button, sew it on, and make yourself a buttonhole to do it up. Surprising, you can't even feel the button when it's actually on underneath your knickers. Or you can take a little snap fastener and sew it in place same way. So there you are. I'm not going to show you how to do those because I'm sure you can do that all by yourself. There we have a washable sanitary pad. Thank you for watching.